Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fall Break Week, the week of October 15th, 2018. We're here with Young Adult Materials, and the topics this evening or for this week are disabilities, mental health, and bibliotherapy. I hope you enjoy this one. So, our learning outcomes. In this class, the student will be able to learn about bibliotherapy and how it applies to young adult literature, learn about literature about disabilities, both physical and mental, for young adults, and learn about some of the latest award winners for books about disabilities for young adults, or at least the latest ones that I have read. So, understanding disabilities through young adult literature. I think this goes for all of us, but for children who struggle with disabilities particularly, we read to discover that we are not alone. That's a C.S. Lewis quote from the movie Shadowlands. So what is bibliotherapy? I use it all the time, just as a form of escapism. However, for our real definition, the use of literature to help children and young adults understand themselves and cope with problems relevant to their personal situations and developmental needs. Bibliotherapy helps the reader develop empathy and an understanding of diversity. The use of literature to teach about the issues that one personally faces through identifying with a character in the book. I have found bibliotherapy really useful with kids who are struggling with things. They don't always feel comfortable talking to an adult, but I think kids frequently find the librarian non-threatening and non-judgmental, particularly in a school, because the librarian does not give a grade. So I do find myself in a pseudo-counselor situation on occasion. Anyway, bibliotherapy I think is quite effective. So a little esoteric background on the history of bibliotherapy. From the Greek, biblio, book, and therapia, or peia, healing. Ancient times, the library was considered the healing place of the soul. I like that. Samuel McCord Crothers in 1916 is the first American author to use the phrase. In the 1930s and 1940s, lists first prepared and articles began appearing in the literature about bibliotherapy. So why use bibliotherapy? It allows opportunities for children to better understand an inclusive society where some people have disabilities. So it gives exposure to kids that may not have the exposure to children with disabilities. Anyway, it enhances the understanding of the world of persons with disabilities and how they function in the world. And the interaction between the child and the story is less threatening than direct confrontation with the topic. It allows kids to try on ideas and try on coping skills. If they have to have a new classmate who is disabled, or if they have a new friend who is disabled, or a new program is starting at a school, using bibliotherapy is a great way to introduce new ideas to kids that it's really non-threatening. Some more reasons to use bibliotherapy. It addresses issues critical for children and families dealing with disabilities. So it can help families problem solve or address feelings or address issues that they have through the literature. It allows children with disabilities to connect with a character from the literature who faces similar situations and challenges, and can affect positive change in our world and society. Let's hope. So from our dear author of our textbook, what does Michael Cart say? Young readers need to see not only their own faces, but those of people who are different from them, for it's in this way that books show them not only the differences, but also the commonalities that comprise their humanity. Also, young adult literature invests young hearts and minds with tolerance, understanding, empathy, acceptance, compassion, kindness, and more. It civilizes them, in short. Civilizing our population becomes even more important when you read a statistic that I just read this evening on the interwebs that I haven't verified, but here it is, that only 38% of our high school seniors are actually proficient at reading. I think this demeans our public discourse. It demeans our society's ability to interpret information, and it's causing a big problem, I think, politically, socially. We need to make sure we are civilizing our students. So what you guys do as librarians is essential to our democracy. Bibliotherapy strategies. You can have a guided class discussion. You can have a dialogue with an individual reader or a class to help students or your patrons develop insight into the character's challenges. You can model books can model successful coping strategies. You can have reading strategies, pre-reading, guided reading, post-reading discussions, and problem solving. You can have a reinforcement activity. You can also look for the author's insights. You might also look for books that are awarded, like the Dolly Gray Award for Children's Literature and Developmental Disabilities. You can have writing or technology strategies. You can use the KWL activity. If you're trained as a teacher, you already know this. But if you're not, the K is what they know, W is what they want to know, and the L is what they learned. And so you do a chart, sort of a T chart, but with 3 lines in it instead of just the 1 line splitting it. Anyway, and you start off saying what they know, and you write it down, and then you keep the chart as you read through the book, and then you update it at the end. You can have students examine picture books or novels and then write their own story about children with disabilities. They can locate information through books and using the disability research website list. You can have students read about a famous person with disabilities and write a report on their person. You can use biographies and sites such as the Disability Social History Project, which is on the page here. You may want to take a look at the Dolly Gray Award for Children's Literature and Developmental Disabilities. This was initiated in the year 2000 to recognize authors, illustrators, and publishers of high-quality fictional children's books that appropriately portray individuals with developmental disabilities. The children's picture book or a juvenile young adult chapter book is chosen. It is sponsored by the Council for Exceptional Children. I have featured here the 2016 Dolly Gray Award for Young Adults. It's called Rain Rain by Anne Martin. This won the Young Adult Award. Main character Rose Howard is struggling with Asperger's syndrome, and she shares a bond with her dog Rain. But when the dog goes missing, Rose is forced to confront the limits of her comfort levels to search for her pet. Boy, I'm a sappy dog person, so this was a little tough for me, but a great book. This Dolly Gray Award is awarded every 2 years. I have not read the 2018 awardee. The 2018 book was called The Someday Birds by Sally J. Pla. It's also about someone on the autism spectrum. So anyway, you should be aware of these awards and aware of these books as both for collection development and to help your patrons. So there are books out there. You just need to make sure you've got them and know about them. You should also be aware of the Schneider Family Award. This is sponsored by the ALA. It honors an author or illustrator for a book that embodies an artistic expression of the disability experience for child and adolescent audiences. 3 annual awards, each consisting of $5,000 and a framed plaque. The categories are birth through grade school, middle school, and teens, and the age groups are approximations. A couple of the recent awardees for the Schneider Family Awards: the 2017 Middle School Award, As Brave as You by Jason Reynolds. Hopefully you recognize his name now. Yes, I hope. So, you can see the stickers on the front. It's won several awards, but when 2 brothers decide to prove how brave they are, everything backfires literally in this piercing middle grade novel by the winner of the Coretta Scott King and the Johnson Steptoe Award. Jeannie's summer is full of surprises. The first is that he and his big brother Ernie are leaving Brooklyn for their very first time to spend the summer with their grandparents all the way in Virginia, in the country. The second surprise comes when Jeannie figures out that their grandfather is blind. And this is a middle grade book. The Schneider Family Awards, the 2015 Teen Award, is a great book. It's called When We Collided by Emery Lord. There are just so many feelings in here, like strong feelings, bad feelings, having no feelings at all. It's a great look at mental illness. So When We Collided by Emery Lord. Can 17-year-old Jonah save his family restaurant from ruin, his mother from her sadness, and his danger-seeking girlfriend Vivi from herself? Also, you should know the 2018 Teen Award is called Your Welcome Universe. That is written and illustrated by Whitney Gardner. It is about a young woman who is deaf, and she is she's an artist. She's a graffiti artist, and she gets kicked out of her school, and she makes friends with a kid who hears. I haven't read this yet, but I have it in my library, and it's sitting on my to-be-read list, which is ginormous. Oh, well. Anyway, there are good resources. Again, the Schneider Family Awards is one place to look if you're looking to enhance your disability literature. Some good websites: the Children's Books About Disabilities from Teacher Vision, Children's Literature Promotes Understanding by Melissa Tebow. That's in Learn, North Carolina. And Linda Lucas Walling Collection, Materials for and or about Children with Disabilities. Linda Lucas Walling was at USC. Is she still there now? I'll have to go look. I just looked up Linda Lucas Walling. She was teaching at USC when I got my master's degree there in 1999. Letting you know just how I'm ancient. Anyway, she retired in 2003, but she had a long career at USC. So that's why sometimes I'm out of date. I'm like, oh, she's still there. But no, that was a while ago. Anyway, moving on. So you're going to be reading one fiction title dealing with disabilities. There are selections on our course documents. You don't have to pick from there. I get overwhelmed by choices. I tried to give you a lot of variety, things to choose from, and then tried not to be nitpicky if you decided you wanted to read something else. So the only things I wanted to make sure you read was 13 Reasons Why and then one of the seminal reads, and you guys have done fine. Anyway, you're going to read one book from that list or read a young adult title from the Dolly Gray Award or the Schneider Awards lists. So upcoming assignments. Hopefully you've seen the updated readings for this week. Sorry, the School Library Journal seems to be pulling a lot of things that are 3 years or older. So I will try to make sure I've checked the rest of the readings so you don't get stuck going, where'd they go? So there are updated readings. You hopefully have already posted to the required discussion board form due by midnight tonight. Your book versus movie assignment is due by midnight on October 25th. Your book talk assignment, the podcast or vodcast, is due by midnight on November 15th. I don't think I have the assignment sheet up for that. I will get that up tomorrow. Be thinking about your theme and common denominator for the talks. I hope I put that up. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll double check and make sure that's up for you. Any questions? Email me directly. It should take me less than 24 hours to get back to you. I owe somebody an email right now. I know it. I'll get it. I'll get you in the morning. I'm sorry this is so short. I know you're sad. So sad. Oh. But you'll have more from me next week. You will only have one video this week, and enjoy your fall break. All right. I hope you're all doing well. If you need help, let me know. I'll be checking statistics over the weekend, and if you're low on your statistics or there are any issues, I will contact you. All right. But I think you're doing fine. Most of you. All right. So, take care. If you're traveling, safe travels. And, if you're just plugging through your regular job, you have 2 days off from this. Hooray. All right. Have a good one. Bye.